And a very pleasant Friday. Welcome to Lone Star Park at Grand Prairie. We've got more beautiful fall weather here. It's dry, track fast, temperature a little warmer than last night. It's probably around 80 right now as we get started. With Rodney Nelson, I'm Jim Byers. Thanks for looking in. We've got 9 races tonight, a dozen races coming up tomorrow. Tonight, more good competitive races, including 4 what I think are really interesting trials for the Texas Hero Futurity. That's a Paint and Appaloosa Futurity, the Grade 1 event that'll be coming up here on a final on November 9th. The trials are interesting because you have some real paint stars sprinkled throughout the trials. There's going to be a lot of heavy favorites in those, like there often are in trials. But that should be fun. And, of course, a week from tonight we'll have a dozen Texas Classic Futurity trials. Those are always fun as well. We'll see some big stars in that one. We each had some nice picks yesterday. Rodney got out in the last race with a really nice, 6-1 shot. Let's get on to race 1. 440 yards. Maiden Claimers, $15,000 the tag. Scratch the 11, Daybreak and Dash.
Now, I was going to say, you can probably guess where I'm going here. Number 9, Cholitos Love. I love the trainer, love the jockey. I like the fact that this horse has had one race that came right out here back on the 20th of September, so just a few weeks ago. Ran a good second in that race, making his second start. I love that angle, second start in the career. So give me Cholitos Love on top. Number 1, Ala Te Espresso MR.
Yeah. I'll wait for you there. Allá te espero.
I'll wait for you there. All right.
I believe it means I'll wait for you there. Allá te espero.
Need to brush up on my Spanish a little bit.
Go.
But ran in a 440 race last time out right here on the 12th of September. Finished third in that race, so not so bad there. I like that the horse has had a start over our track, a start at this distance as well. Don't know if he can catch this 9. I really like the 9 here, but give me the 1 second. And then number 3, Lyson. Did I say that one right? That's not Spanish.
I'm going to go with Legion, or Legion, like Elysian Fields in L.A.
Right.
It's spelled Elysan, but I think I'm going to say Legion there. It sounds a little easier than Lycian.
Let me write that down. All right, so anyway, I got this horse picked as my third pick here. Has never gone 440 before. Does have a race over this track back on September the 20th. Same race that Cholitos Love came out of. Finished 5th in that one. But before that, had a third place finish for the $15,000 tag. So that's right up there with this level here. So give me 3 Legion as my third
Legion.
choice.
I don't know if that's correct or not, but. Yeah, Cholitos Love, a standout here in the first. Maybe not quite as much of a standout as we had in the first race yesterday.
Yeah, right.
That Arabian who won by about 14 lengths. And then the second place horse was about 16 lengths in front of the third.
Yeah, they were spread out.
Oh, boy.
That one.
But Cholitos Love, bore out pretty badly in that first race. But he can improve a lot off of that. Not too many horses to bother out there. He should outbreak the 10 Thug Rose. And you don't want a horse going way, way out. We're going to see in our video in the next race a horse that won from the unharrowed part of the track. I don't really want to see that from this guy. But, if he improves at all, he should win this race. On to race 2. We've got a video. I like LJR in here. Did you take LJR?
Got him picked second.
All right. Well, my pick is the 5 in this race. We're going to watch a race from late September. Now, he's the 3 here. Don't be distracted by Soaring Eagle, who wins the race literally from the outer rail. So don't worry about that horse on the outside so much. Watch the 3. He's going to battle the 4, a horse named San Sebastian. He gets out okay. Let's go ahead and see. He gets out mediocre, a little bump there, but now the 3 and the 4 are going to hook up. 4 has a little lead. 3 is going to catch him. They're going to dead heat for second. Now, meanwhile, this goofy outside horse is going to run off the groomed part of the racetrack, but the 3 and 4 have no idea. I'm sure that horse is even out there. They're in their own little private race. And they probably thought, wow, we had a bang-up race. Well, literally 80 feet out there, totally out of their view, because they're both probably wearing blinkers. Well, definitely LJR was. There's this horse that goes and wins by a half length. So I'm dismissing that. That was in a first-level allowance. This is a Texas-bred non-winners of 2 allowance, similar race. Going only 250. The horse showed good speed last time. So wanted to show that because I think LJR probably thought he won or dead heated for a win. They did dead heat for second. But they had no idea that horse was out there. They're just in their lanes running. So I took him over our buddy Stabby Joe.
It was nice that LJR was battling through that and didn't yield, right? I mean,
he kept on battling. Yeah,
that's what's nice about that race.
A little bit of a sloppy start, a little brush there, but yeah, it was a good race because that San Sebastian outbroke him. This is a good race because Stabby Joe, last time was totally outmanned in that race, in that Derby trial. And no chance there, but there's a bunch of horses in here that figure. I didn't even use the horse you used on top.
That's what I was going to say. I got a winning horse here, and you don't have him in the top 4.
That's a little scary for me, but 7-2 for Paul Leal, who's a good trainer. So that's a little questionable, but that's how wide open this race is.
I like this 6. This chick's a zoomer. The last 3 races, this horse really seemed to put it together. All 3 of those races coming at 250 yards like we're running tonight. Had a win back at Retama, a close-up second at Retama, a close-up second here on the 21st of September. All 3 of those races were ridden by Oscar Andrade Jr. He's back aboard tonight. The horse has been improving. Those Equibase speed figures in here in those last 3 races. Give me the 6 on top here, but LJR. I like your top pick at LJR in Stabby Joe. Coming in,
like him.
This is the only horse in here. Technically, this horse has only won once, but he's unofficially won 3 times, right?
Yeah, so, he disqualified twice.
DQ twice, but, coming into a non-winners of 2, already crossing that finish line 3 times ahead of everybody else. Something to be said for Stabby Joe there. He's got a good name, too, but 6.53, that's how I see it in the second.
I was tempted to pick Joe in here. The first 3 finishers in that trial were the 3rd fastest, 4th fastest, and 8th fastest among the 10 for the Dash for Cash Derby. He didn't run much in that, but he wasn't expected to. But yeah, I mean, if he weren't so aggressive stabbing people, he might be eligible for a non-winners of 4 if he hadn't been going around getting disqualified. On to the 3rd. First of our 4 Texas Hero Futurity trials. Not many of these horses across these trials have ever been 400 yards, and nobody has ever been 400 in this particular dash.
Yeah, so this first trial of the night, I went with the number 2, Vesper Martini. So glad to see that you got the same horse picked here.
Yeah, she's as close to a cinch as you'll ever see. I hate to damn her with that term. But, yeah, I called her race in a pot of gold, which is a grade 1 futurity at Will Rogers, and it was a nice try. The runner-up in that race ran big, too. But, yeah, her wins, she just wins almost every time.
Yeah, and, back-to-back wins, won 3 out of 4. 5 out of 7. Those other ones, second-place finishes, so right up there toward the front. Vesper Martini knows how to get up there toward the front and run fast. This horse has already won $100,000 so far this year.
Yeah, that's good.
It's not bad at all, right?
There's 3 runners in these trials that have made $100,000. She's one of them.
Yeah, so I got to take Vesper Martini on top. I took the number 1, Bailey's in Blood, as my second choice. Last time out, this horse was in a big futurity, ran 5th in that one, but only beaten by a length. Vesper Martini was in that one. Came close to some races before that. It's hit the board in half of her start so far this year. I got the 1 picked second, and then number 4, Painted Diva. It's going to be my 3rd choice. This horse was an allowance winner 2 back. Broke its maiden back in July. Has a couple wins from 6 out so far. We'll see what happens when it's all said and done, but Vesper Martini looks like the horse to beat here.
Yeah, she's a candidate to be the fastest qualifier of all of them.
Calling that one?
Almost. I got to refresh
by
myself. We might put just a dot next to it, but I need to refresh myself on who's in some of the other trials first. She's been super good all year. And Jed Vane, the trainer of the 1, there's no barn that's been hotter with a limited stable than the Dunn Ranch Jed Vane horses. So Bailey's in Blood could be really salty from the inside. On to the next one. This was a tough call for me because when you see an asterisk in your program like there is for Poppin, that means they're dual registered, and this Poppin has run a couple of times, actually 5 times, against quarter horses who are going to be faster than Paints for the most part, not always. So, but I still took Wire Transfer in here. Lost all chance at the start in a pot of gold trial behind Vesper Martini at Will Rogers. This is tough, though, because this Poppin, last time out on September 26th, that was against quarter horses. And she has been running real competitively. So I had a hard time not picking the one that's been running against quarters.
Yeah, I wanted to pick Poppin as well, but, I ended up with Wire Transfer. Just looking at those races at Remington Park earlier this year, 4 of them up there in Oklahoma City, horse was never more than a neck behind in those races.
Yeah.
I mean,
and 2 of those were the biggest paint futurities, 2 of the 3 biggest paint futurities they run.
And that last race, I can easily draw a line through that one and glance over it. I mean, stumbled badly is what the comment says. Yeah, and it's just not a typical running line for Wire Transfer. I think this horse gets back on top tonight. Poppin, like you said, this is a horse that is very interesting here, running with some quarter horse, a supplemental entry to these trials here.
Too. Yeah.
So there's always something to be said for that, for the people who supplement these horses. They know a little bit more about the ability than just looking on the paper for me. But the downside on Poppin for me is this horse has never won a race, still a maiden, competing against someone like Wire Transfer, who's already popped off 3 wins earlier this year. So that's the question mark for me. And then I went with Shadowing PT as my third choice. That's a number 8 horse. Kind of the same thing. Last time out, this horse ran 8th in that Futurity up at Will Rogers. But before that, this horse had some pretty close-up finishes. Had a good year at Remington as well. So I'll take the 8 Shadowing PT as my third choice. But I got a 4-1-8 here in the second trial of the night.
Yeah, Poppin, just to finish the note on her, the only races she has not faced quarters were the 2 August starts at Retama. Those were mixed races against Paints and Apps, but the last start and the first 4 for Poppin were all against quarters, and she didn't win any of them, but she was a close second in 3 of those. On to the 5th. These are all new to 400 yards, the 3rd Texas Hero Futurity Trial, and a bunch of them come out of that race that we held here on September 26th, that little stake race that we had for Paints and Apps that day. And I took the winner of that one right back. You did too.
I did too, yeah. I had Amachili in that last race. Won it very convincingly. If you look at it, it says dominated in the comments there. Won that race by a length and a half. Got out of the gate well and just never looked back. And Amachili, this horse, came close the race before that as well, just missing by a neck. A lot of on-the-board finishes. This horse has hit the board in every start it's had. So, I like Amachili here. I got the number 1, Soy Toxico, second. This horse ran behind Amachili last time out, but like I said, was beaten by a length and a half by my top choice here. Another one picked up some wins earlier in the year, had one at Louisiana Downs, one at Sam Houston, both of those in trial races. The horse has pretty much won every trial that he's ever been in. I don't know if he can do it today, but I think he will be up there toward the front. And then number 7, PFR Road Rage is going to be my third choice. Came close to picking up a win last time out at Will Rogers Downs. Missed by a neck in there to Vesper Martini, that horse we talked about earlier. Had a win in the trial for that race. He's had 3 wins out of 9 starts so far this year. But I do like the other 2 a little bit better, but I think PFR Road Rage, this horse definitely has the ability to get up there and hit the board.
Yeah, she ran well against Vesper Martini last time. The comment's no match for the winner, and I don't think she necessarily was, but she did run Vesper Martini with a neck, and I am predicting that Vesper Martini will emerge as the fastest qualifier now that I've had a look at some of the other trials.
Now I'm going back to put that dot there.
Put an asterisk in there for her. I probably just ruined her chances completely there, but Amachili's last race was just awesome. And it was over this track, and it was a track record for Paints and Apps going 3:30. So I'm going to ride the momentum from that. Race 6. I had a tough call here between the 5 and the 6. Let's see. Yeah, well, we came up the same way. 400-yard, our final trial for these guys. Flying Cholitos and PT Rose, they're tough to split for me.
Yeah, I agree with you. I went with Flying Cholitos. Being this horse has had a little bit more experience running 7 races. Does have a win, 3 seconds, and a third. So 5 out of 7, this horse has hit the board. Last time out went in one other than allowance race for this 400-yard distance. If you look at the comment, lunged out, bumped hard, so that's never a good thing. Ran 9 of 10, beaten by almost 5 lengths. So let's toss that race, focus on the ones before that. This horse went back-to-back at Retama this year and barely missed in both of those. Missed by a nose and a neck in those 2 races at Retama. It was in a futurity at Sam Houston where the horse ran second, missed by half a length. Then they beat Amachili, who was, the horse I was talking about in that last race. But I think Flying Cholitos can get the job done. Number 6, PT Rose, second choice. Was a winner last time out. Race before that, no good at all. But the other 2, not bad. So 5-6-2. That's how 5-6-2. That's how I see race 6.
Yeah. Starting with P.T. Rose, the 6, who is both of our second picks. Number 1, Toby Keaton, the trainer, is 34% when he brings a horse back off a win. So one last start statistic is very high for that barn. That was a really nice late bid because that was a very poor start. Now, I will point out that was a maiden race. The runner-up in that race, Shadows of the Fire, is in the first trial tonight and is 20-1. So that indicates to me that wasn't a very loaded field, but he ran a tremendous race, albeit against it. Flying Cholitos is another one of these that has run some against paints and some against quarters. He's got 3 seconds in 3 starts against paint horses. His first 3 career races and his last race, the one here in Allowance Company October 3rd, were all against quarter horses like BV Ivy Quick, Celebrating the Eagle. They're not paints, and he got a terrible start and had no chance. But he was bet a little in that race at 8-1. So he does have a win and a third against quarter horses. So I didn't pick the quarter horse sometime participant in the earlier race, but I am picking him in here, so we'll see.
I don't think you picked any of the quarter horses last night either for the Battle of the Breeds races.
No, and you almost got a win.
Almost got
I felt bad for Steinbo's horse. You picked that, I forget the name now.
Run, Bubba, Run.
Yes, that had won the previous race. And, he's going to be in the final, and he got claimed, if I recall.
Yeah,
but he's going to be tough in the final because that's why quarter horses can be tough to beat in those races because, they're running out of gas at the end, but they are so fast. Axel Steele was going pretty fast early, and yet he had this ground he had to make up. Because those quarter horses are another animal when it comes to early speed.
It was a fun race to watch. I like that first trial, watching Axel Steele just gaining on him and barely nabbing him at the wire.
It was a tough loss if you took Run Bubba Run to win, but. Ali Rivera rode him well. He didn't over-abuse him. He tried to win. He got the horse doing his best. He was, but he just got caught at the end. But that horse should have some gas left for the final.
And you usually see quarter horses run back sooner than thoroughbreds do.
Yeah.
So
typically, he should be fine in 3 weeks.
Anyway, that's in a few weeks from now. But.
Yeah, that'll be November 8th. Race 7. Hey, Shane Wigley's here tonight. Race 7, allowance, 3-year-olds and up, non-winners of 2 or non-winners of a race other than.
Yeah, I went with number 8, Seis Ponte here. This horse was a second-place finisher last time out. That was in the trial for the Dash for Cash Derby. Missed by a head, and that one is pretty close up. If you look at the horse bobbled in that one, but the 3 races before that, this horse was close up in 2 of those 3. The other one was a third-place finish, so not that bad there, finishing behind a next out winner. I think Seis Ponte can have a good run tonight. Give me the 8 here in race 7. Number 5, Lake LBJ Senator. That's going to be my second choice. Back-to-back wins for this horse. Last one was in July, so it's had a little bit of time off. I like that stat you threw out about Toby Keaton earlier. What did you say, 34%
when he won his last race.
That's not bad there. I'll go ahead and take that. I didn't know that stat, but I might have picked the horse on top if I would have got into the numbers there.
That means he keeps them going good. They don't just
once they win, they keep
themselves
winning, right?
in one race, and then they're done for a while, yeah.
So and that shows it right there, back-to-back wins, right? That
exactly
helps prove that point. And then number 9, Famous Trace, that's going to be my third choice. A lot of experience for this horse, 21 lifetime starts for this gelding. Has 1 win, 4 seconds, and 2 third-place finishes. One of those seconds came last time out. That was right here on our racetrack in an allowance race. going 440, so it's going to shorten up 40 yards here. We'll see if Famous Trace can have what it takes to get up and hit the board. I got 8.59 in race 7.
Yeah, Famous Trace ran a nice race last time. I mean, he was beaten 2 lengths, but Favorite Talladega just bushwhacked that field. I mean, he destroyed them. And this horse ran pretty well from the outside. Again, he was way outside. He might not have even been able to see Favorite Talladega down inside there. He draws outside again, but he obviously doesn't mind that. He is a little light on winning, but I like him for second, actually, here. Seis Ponte, I mean, he is, if you get more than even money on him, that's a pretty good price, because he comes out of a Derby trial where he actually qualified for the final, but he didn't go. I wrote here, made Dash for Cash Derby final, but didn't go. So I guess they had somebody else who was close on the list go instead. So, and Shiny Nova, the horse that beat him in that trial, was 7th in the Derby final, and is a horse that Steinbo has that raced up in the Intermountain region and won a bunch of races. So this is a totally different set of horses than he ran against last time. Race 8. An allowance. Fillies and mares 3 and up. Fort Worth Distaff. This is a great race. I really wanted to pick AJ Brazilian Gift. I picked her last time at 6-1. I'm still bragging about that because she had, I picked her the time before and she reared in the gate and acted up right as they kicked it. Had no chance. She's talented, but I couldn't get off. I'm a Fancy Chick is just so fast and so consistent.
Yeah, I mean this horse is a winner. The last 3 races. I mean this horse win, right? And the Easy Date, that's a grade 2 up at Remington Park back in April. Second in that one, just missing by half a length. This horse has been up close. You can see in those 3 stakes races that I'm a Fancy Chick has been in. Lots of ones there in those running lines. This horse likes to get out of the gate, likes to be up there toward the front as they're running. Go ahead and give me the 6. I'm a Fancy Chick here. I got number 8, Ladies Got Jet, as my second choice. You know, this horse was a 4th place finisher last time out. That was in one of the trials for the Dash for Cash. Finished behind Relentless Eagle, who went on to co-win the Dash for Cash. Action Required was in there as well. Liberator, we've seen out here plenty of times. To run 4th behind those horses, I think is it was very good. This horse was a stakes winner 2 starts back. Won a stakes at Sam Houston earlier this year. So, I mean, this horse has already won 2 stakes so far in 2024. Ladies got a Jet. That's my second choice. And then I got number 2, AJ Brazilian Gift, as my third pick, coming in off that Jim Byers pick win last time out.
There you go. Yeah, she ran a super race last time. Got away perfectly. She is a filly that I think I saw her all the way back in a training race 2 years ago at Remington. I've always thought she had a lot of talent, but she's never quite materialized. She was an $85,000 yearling. She's always trained pretty well and pretty fast. She's in great hands. Ran a brilliant race last time, but I'm a Fancy Chick is just so fast. You know, I went and watched that last FanDuel race. I mean, okay, maybe some of those mares at FanDuel aren't as good as we see at Remington and here, but I mean, I don't care who was behind her. She was just, she was in her own deal. And like you mentioned, you go back to the Decada and the Easy Date. Those are really tough races. And the James Isaac Hobbs last year at Zia, that's against all comers, and she only missed that by a half length. So, model of consistency, I had to take her on top. And by the way, I did verify my own information. Seis Ponte was the 7th fastest qualifier for the Dash for Cash Derby, but obviously was not able to go in the race, so somebody else took that horse's place in the final. Probably the next fastest that wanted to go. They get preference. So, last race, I didn't mention the scratches in the 8th. Number 1, Crimson Cash is out of the 8th, and number 10, KJ Wicked Wanda. Now, in the 9th, one of my picks scratch, we just got word that the 5, Avion, is out in race 9. So I'm 8, 1, 10. I don't have a 4th pick for now. And the 11 and 12, both the alsos. Maiden special weight 2-year-old fillies at 330.
Yeah, I went with the inside horse, Take My Name. Both starts for this horse came in trials out at Ruidoso earlier this year. Finished second in the most recent one. It's had a little bit of time off since then. Goes back here tonight at 330 yards. We'll see if Take My Name has got what it takes to pick up a win here. Got the 8. Katie Bug picked second. Last 3 races, I mean, this horse was 2/3 and a second. One of those thirds was in the Mountaintop Juvenile, just missed by a neck in that one. In a third place finish, the 2 next out winners finished in front. So Katie Bug, this could be one to watch here. And then I got the 4 TD's Apolitical Mom as my third choice. Give me a first-time starter here. Zach Steinbo, Ali Rivera team up for this one. 15-1 morning line. Why not put a couple bucks on this horse to get up and hit the board?
I'm going to call an audible, and Helen, if you're listening, make my 4th pick for the future. The 2, Rosie's Rosie. Number 1, I like the name. Love the barn. Love the fact they're taking blinkers off, and maybe the change of scenery will help the 2, Rosie's Rosie. So we'll make her the 4th pick. Thank you, Ellen. You know, I have a lot of respect for Take My Name, and Heath Taylor's barn has dealt with so much adversity. It'd be nice to see him get a win. And the horse Ariat that Take My Name just ran second to, did finish 8th in the All-American Futurity. But I went with Katie Bug. I actually think Katie Bug is going to be very tough to beat in here. But they still got to go out and win the race. Seis Cholitos, very nice horse. Beat this horse last time here in a Futurity trial. Mountaintop Juvenile, Woody Rocks, the horse that won that race. Won the Zia Futurity over in New Mexico. That's a restricted grade 1. Harkin, who won the race, 3 back for Katie Bug, won the Mountaintop Final. That's a restricted grade 2, and has won 4 races. So even though she's been facing some New Mexico breds at half of her career, she's been facing some really fast ones, and I'm going to go with her here in the last. Overtake My Name. And Sophia Wanted Waters on the outside. She's been really pretty non-competitive so far, but lands in a much friendlier spot. Even though it's a good race. I mean, this 9th race is tough.
Yeah, and a big carryover in the
Jackpot
High
High Five.
16,457
in the High 5 carryover. $1,122 in the Pick 6 carryover, and it's been a while since that has not carried over. And $399 in the Pick 5, so carryovers and all those. Good card tonight. I think there's potential for some upsets tonight, but those paint trials are going to be interesting because there's some real paint stars from earlier in the year in those. All right, Rodney will have his previews throughout the course of the evening. 29 minutes to post for race 1. Enjoy the evening down here.
All right, we'll do. The weather's nice.
Oh, it's really beautiful, yeah. And don't forget, get here early tomorrow. You can have a choice of a free Lone Star Park cap or a free Lone Star Park T-shirt while supplies last if you get here early tomorrow.
Yeah, we've only got about 500 of them, so make sure to get in here early and grab you a hat or T-shirt. And then you can wear it all year long and show everyone your support for the horses out here at Lone Star Park. They're good looking, too. So
good. That'll be good. Well, thanks a lot for joining us tonight, and good luck this evening.